Hey folks, so it was brought to my attention about an article on Briefly, a South African website that covers the news. Now, I've seen articles written on there in the past, one talking about me and refugees, and it was pretty accurate. So I don't know the quality and I can't account for the site, but I can tell you this. The article that was posted, which apparently someone claimed they'd already changed the title of, I don't know, I hadn't seen it, but it runs a story which is full of errors, factual mistakes that are easily refuted, talking about the program's only for white Afrikaners. No, that's not true. And citing Carolyn Levitt. Carolyn Levitt just said that in passing, and they've been saying that all along. But the program is for racial minorities as well. So that's easily refuted. You can reference that, but it's disingenuous to say that that's the status of the program. She didn't say it unequivocally. So that's the first thing. Second thing here is that the program says that President Trump reserved 7,500 refugee slots for Afrikaners. Or, well, they said for South Africans, which would be accurate for South Africans, but the number is wrong. There were 7,500 in the refugee cap for this fiscal year, of which 7,000 were reserved for South Africans, 500 for others being persecuted elsewhere. Presumably Europeans can't have free speech in the UK and places like that. So that's factually incorrect. And then it talks about how the refugees that came over, the 52 who came over in the first batch, how 37 of them are unemployed and they're no asset to agriculture. Well, that's utter nonsense. And this story by the author refers to a Twitter post, an X post, in which someone cites a bunch of poppycock and balderdash. The 59ers that came over on the 12th of May, half of them, nearly half, were children. So you can take, of the 60, take about 28 out of them right out of the mix. So you couldn't possibly have 37 people who this person, Mike, on Twitter claims are unemployed or you're not working. Also, this wasn't to benefit U.S. agriculture. That's poppycock and balderdash by people who are just trying to lie about the program and mislead people. That was never about. These people are dim as a 2-watt light bulb. The program is not about agriculture. It never was about that. Because Trump used the word farmers, that's what they're going with. Look at the actual results of the program. Most of the people who came over weren't even farmers. And in fact, many of those people are already working, some of them making 6-figure salaries in a couple of states I'm aware of. Others have moved to different locations to get better services. And also, he says, oh, they're living off public assistance. No, the people came over the 59ers, that stuff is dried up. I'm not aware of any of them still on any public assistance. And SNAP disappears because the big, beautiful bill eliminated it in July, effective 1 October. So it's just a bunch of nonsense. Nothing supported. The guy says, we'll just go to the Office of Refugee Resettlement and go to Inspiritus. But neither one of those provide data like this gentleman claimed. There's no way he could accumulate this data unless he spoke to all 59 of those people, which no one, to my knowledge, has done except the U.S. government. So stop believing the bullshit that you see on Twitter. Stop believing the bullshit that you read in South Africa and start asking yourself serious questions, because these people are misleading you on purpose. The intent is to pretend that this isn't a good program for people to come over here. But for those escaping from racial persecution or life in jeopardy, it's a very good program. That's the truth.